Hey, how's it going out there today? Happy Friday, everybody. Got on my headset. It's a Blue Parrot. Is there another brand? I don't think there is. But, yeah, shout out to Blue Parrot. I actually won that headset, so, from a giveaway they did. So, I'll throw a promotion their way. Shout out Blue Parrot. It really is a great headset. I charge it about once a week, and I talk on that thing like every single day. For quite a while, most days. So I'm in beautiful sunny California. Ran load over here from Minnesota. I'll make my weekly recap video later. If you could right now for me, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. I think I'm gonna get some comments because of what I'm gonna talk about today in this quick little video. I'm gonna talk about all this talk on YouTube about broker regulations and transparency and all that. So my first thought on it is where were these people talking about all this, and where were they, a year or two ago when rates were really, really good? They weren't talking about it then. They're just talking about it now because there's no freight to haul, and they don't know how to make, build relationships and work those relationships. I mean, I've been consistently averaging all miles over $2 a mile through this whole pandemic. And I'm not working the load board on 99% of that. I'm pulling it from emails that, the company I'm leased to gets because of their connections. And, I get to see those emails. I call in, I say, hey, I want that load. Boom, I'm put on that load. There's been some times where, when I was down in Florida the other day, I had a watermelon load cancel on me. I worked the board on that. But still, I was like $2.08 a mile, $2.08 a mile or something like that. And that broker I work with a lot when I'm down there. So it's one of those things, instead of trying to regulate and change everything, because my beef, instead of trying to regulate and change everything, work your business and try to make it better and stay out of my business. Because if you're going to regulate brokers and you want transparency, there's a little thing called unintended consequences. And everybody, I was in the Trucker Coach Live the other night, and they were talking about this. And one guy said, well, these truckers that don't want this, they must love getting ripped off. No, I don't like getting ripped off, okay? I don't like changing things with a broad brush, because when you do that, there's a thing called unintended consequences. You think you're going to go in and limit brokers to 10% of the money and it's not going to change things? I'm going to tell you, you think you're going to go in there and do that, and it's only going to affect that one little thing, and then everything else is going to be great for you. And then you'll just have to find something else to complain about. That's what I look at it. I'm like, if y'all did get what y'all wanted right here, next week you'd be complaining about something else. Stop complaining and run your business. Because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you how these steps are going to go. And this is an opinion. I'm no market analyst. I should be, but I'm not. I am a part-time doctor, so, I do have that. I do some lawyering on the side. If you need some counsel, by all means, give me a call. I did not pass the bar exam because I haven't taken it, but if I did, I got a 50-50 shot, I would imagine. I love arguing, but here's how I see this going down. Okay, you limit brokers to 10% of the load. All of a sudden, a lot of the small brokerages that have kind of not the big money runs, they got these little accounts that, they really, for them to be able to work that account, they really need 20% to make that account worth it. Okay, so if they're limited to 10% now, a lot of that is, those brokerages are going to go away. Your small brokerages, a lot of them are going to go out of business. Because I love how everybody sits back. I look at brokers like lumpers. Okay, everybody wants to complain about how much money they make, but they don't want to take the time to acknowledge what they do for us. Okay, go out there, get your own customers like the broker does. You agree to a rate with them, and then you find a suitable carrier that can pull that freight for that amount of money. It's not an easy task they got. Everybody thinks they're sitting back in their underwear on their couch just waiting for you to call in and take their load. I'm not saying some of them aren't doing that, but I'm going to say a lot of these small brokerages, and like growing up, I knew someone that did run a small brokerage. That dude was a hustler. He was a salesman. Like, you've got to go to these shippers and convince them that you can move their loads for these rates better than, C.H. Robinson, better than Coyote. It's not an easy task to do. So when you get rid of those guys, okay, what's going to happen? Well, Coyote and C.H. Robertson and J.B. Hunt, they're going to come in and they're going to go, we got scale. We can do that for 10%. Okay? But how many times have you had a J.B. Hunt load, or, some of these bigger brokerages? It's so impersonal. You say something goes wrong, you call in, you get nothing. Sometimes you need service, and sometimes a small brokerage provides service that the big ones just don't. They earn that 15 to 20% on some of those small, shorter runs. So you get rid of them, and now we're down to nothing but the big guys. And the mega carriers come in, and they start turning that into contract freight. And then, before you know it, you'll all be leased on to some mega carrier making $1.10 a mile and a 15-cent fuel surcharge right now. So, and honestly, that may be what some of you guys need to do. I mean, I was watching Trucker Coach the other day. He was pulling load for $1.33 a mile. And that's before his carrier he's leased on gets their money out of it. And I'm just like, if you I don't know, like $1.33 a mile would be tough for me. Like, I ain't saying I haven't ran any $1.33 freight, but he wouldn't be doing it if he didn't have deferred payments and all this, that, and the other. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I didn't get stimulus money. I didn't want stimulus money. I'd rather make enough money to where they don't think they need to give me stimulus money. That's where I'm at. I don't want to be part of their their sheep herd that they run around, And they start bringing more regulation and more, like the transparency thing. I want to touch on that real quick. To be honest, or to put it out there too, I didn't defer any truck payments. I'm still making truck payments. I ain't trying to extend this loan out anymore. I didn't want to take the loan in the first place. But financially, it was like, I put some of the risk on a finance company, basically, for a percentage. So that's how you run it. Sometimes you use their money, not your money. But I'm not trying to extend it out. I'm trying to pay them as little interest as possible. So I'm not deferring payments. I'm full steam ahead with payments. I make extra payments. You know what I mean? Like, if you're running a business in this economy, if you can still keep it going, why defer those payments? Like they're still running miles and they're running cheap freight because they're getting deferred payments. Like, I mean, do they not see what they're doing to their self? It's like I was talking to one of the guys that books loads here where I'm at the other day, and it was late in the day, and he was talking about a load, and I was thinking, well, maybe we should book it and move on and just get on the road. And he was like, well, if we agree to it one time, they're going to want it every time. And I said, yeah, you're right. I said, let's just sit. Let's just sit. So we did. It's last week. I sat in Florida for a day. So anyway, back to the transparency thing. The transparency's not going to help anything, in my opinion. It's going to turn the whole industry into JB Hunt 360. If any of you've had experience with that, it's going to be book now for 50 cents a mile, or you can bid it up, and eventually when they get to it, they might try to take you. But here's the problem with the industry. It's not the brokers making too much money. It's not transparency. The problem right now is there's nothing to haul. If you want to go to Congress and complain about something, go to your local governor and complain about them opening up the state, because that's where it's at right now. These states that are on lockdown, like, that's what's killing the trucking industry. not, and people with deferred payments running super, super cheap freight. To me, you're giving it away. Transparency. Okay, here's my example. I'll give it to you. If you got a load that's paying, let's use round numbers. You got a load that's paying $1,000, and the broker, he's got transparency. Okay, and he says, okay, I need a backstop because this load's got to move today. So you call in and you say, hey, I see you got $1,000 on that load. I'll pull it for you for, let's say a really good number, $900. You get 10% of that. I feel like I won. Well, he's like, all right, an hour rolls by. What happens? Somebody else calls in and says, hey, I see you got $1,000 on that. I'll move it for $700 because they need to get home. All of a sudden you get a call, hey, that load's been canceled. The transparency in that changed nothing. And then that guy booked it for $700. If he don't get there in time or hurry up and get on the move and get there and get it picked up, there'll be somebody else call in that's really got to get home, and they'll agree to $500 for it because he'll tell them, he said, hey, just like JB Hunt 360's been, well, I've already got somebody at $700, so you need to come in under that. So maybe he says, I'll do it for $650. I don't see transparency changing a whole lot. It might, but I don't know. I think you're going to get a lot of lies. I think you're going to get a lot of undercutting because everybody's going to see where the other guy's at. It's going to be like the reverse Price is Right. You bid $7, I bid $6.99. I don't know. I don't care for that. I'd rather call and agree to a price. And, the example I hear is the grocery store example. You don't go in the grocery store and say, hey, you got an apple there for $1. What do you got in that? What'd you give for it? You don't do that. Brokerage is the same exact thing. You call, you get a price you agree to. If you don't agree to the price, you let it ride. I got a bid in on a load right now going to Florida from California. All right. The guy had it posted for one price. I called, I bid another price. He kind of met me in the middle, and I was like, no, thank you. Like, it's Friday afternoon on a holiday weekend. In California load ratio, I've got the advantage. There's no loads into California. So I know I've got the advantage on the truck ratio right now. Okay, I said, no deal. What's he do? He comes back with a higher price. Learn to negotiate and know your price and stop trying to get the government involved even more in my business than they already are. Peace.